What fun is that?
See, that's outstanding. So if you'd have just done that without the,
It wouldn't, you all wouldn't have known how to get there.
it wouldn't have the effect.
So don't worry about a thing. Every little thing's gonna be all right.
It's gonna be all right. Amen. All right. Well, let's give it up for our anniversary. Well, now, let's practice this right at the end of each slide. We'll give one big clap. Ready? Outstanding. Krista Nelson, Taylor Fisher, Cheryl, Corey, Shannon, Aubrey, and Lisa. One extra clap for Lisa, it's her birthday. One extra clap for Corey because he's got a nice haircut. Let's give it up for Lisa, Jimmy, Justin, Becca, Freddie, Alyssa, and Jim Lee. I'm assuming all y'all have great haircuts too. Our top individual agents close units for January. Tony, who is closing at 4 and 5 right now, otherwise she'd be here on the panel. Jim Lee, Nicole, Cindy, Kelly, and Ann. Closed, top group, closed units. HHG, Steerroot, Cedar Haven, Lucky Duck, the Hoagies, and Unity Home Team. Who's the Unity Home Team, Jason?
That's your productivity team with the name on the board.
Outstanding, Jason. Outstanding. He made me say that actually.
I did. He did. He lost the bet at family reunion, and now he had to.
We're unified on that. Top team closed units. Hauser Homes, Property, Riley, Janie's Home Team, BA Home Team, Chad and Tuft. I don't know, Chad. I meant, sorry. ICC, Custodio and Tuft. Sorry. The Burwell Group and Core Team Homes. All right, thanks for stumbling through that with me. Well, let's give it up for some of our campers too. Let's give it up for CC. And Chad. There's no foreshadowing. Something I learned from Don this weekend about storytelling.
Storytelling is very important.
Yes, storytelling is very important. That being said, this tells a story. So usually this is when you get rid of me and then the MCA comes on up here and tells you the numbers. So you're blessed to have me. 8675309. We did learn this weekend from Olivia the weird words that she would put in these things. If you put the right numbers, it makes funny words. Some of you, I think you know what that would be. Am I lying or am I true? Is it true, Olivia?
If you had a pager,
Yep.
some of you don't even know what that is. But those of you that have a pager, yes, know some of the fun words.
Maybe she'll share with
The
you.
word she's talking about is oboe.
It's a musical instrument. She's constantly referring to it. Oboe.
Wow. She didn't play it well enough. All right, we need to move on. Let's make it in the Gary E range. So, okay, January in review, the market center. So pretty much the same as last year when it comes to closed volume and closed units. Second best all-time in listings taken volume, which is a precursor. And then highest since 2022 in listings sold. Overall, we will say it was a light January, a very light January. And however, we had some huge October, December, November, December, and we had a huge Steve. Yes.
Sidebar. The whole country was down 8% in January, and Minnesota was down 18% compared to last year. So
Wow.
So we're holding steady, exactly what Gary says to do up markets.
yeah.
That is the business we're in, perspective. We bring perspective. Thank you, Steve, because it makes this next slide a little bit easier. It looks like our weather.
Negative?
A lot of below zero. But a lot of this is month over month from last month. We had a huge December, way down on a lot of these. However, I would think the ones for this month moving forward that we're most excited about, Listings taken volume are up. Keep up the great work, folks. That's what we're looking at. This is what it looks like in December, just for perspective. We just flipped them. We flipped them. All these came into fruition, and this is where we're growing. And we had a light profit share month, but still, hey, money given back to people. Let's go. So Olivia will jump in if she would like. However, this market center has had 12 years full of 12 months that have been profitable. Sometimes when we have a capping system, sometimes when the caps, as you saw with November, December, a lot of people cap quicker and quicker, and that left us a little dry in January. So that is where we're at with this. We had to move some of the numbers to other months to make it so that people could make some profit share this month. So thank you for doing that, Olivia. I guess we can give her one for the elbow. And Steve.
The whole state was down 18%. So 211 isn't bad.
Yes, Steve delivering the word. That's
Come on.
That's what I'm saying. Well, and speak of someone amazing and awesome like Steve, let's bring up Grace.
Hi. Okay. So the QR code on your tables, which you should all know about now because we talk about it every week, has all of our events on it that's coming up. March is a really busy month, so we're super excited for everything that we're offering in March. We're gonna have the luxury bus tour that sells out pretty quick, so we're gonna get that sign up out to you guys quickly. That's gonna be on March 27th. And then the Asian headshot event has been pushed to April to accommodate the luxury bus event so that we can do that that weekend and make sure everybody's able to come. And then KW Connectors is back and happening today. And you guys, we just did the red carpet welcome. And then Admin Appreciation Day is March 25th. So we have a big week the end of March. So we're excited for that. And then coming soon is the Sip and Shred event that we are really excited to do because we haven't done it before. So that's our spring plug and play event. Also, what I'll talk about is a little bit on family reunion. When I was there, all the breakouts that I attended were for social media and how to get leads from social media. So I have a ton of notes and I'm excited to share them. I'll be doing 2 classes in March, the 2nd and 3rd week, I think, in March, and you'll get more information about it. But I'll be going over a good social media strategy, how to implement it, how to build that out, and how to follow up with your clients to get those leads from social media so that it just kind of happens for you. And that's a good lead source, especially if you don't like making phone calls or stuff like that. So I'm excited to share. And that's all.
Hey, Grace,
Yes.
will your social media classes, if I want to find out when they are, will that be advertised on social media?
Yes, it will be. Yep. Putting it into practice. Thank you, Jason. That's all.
Woo!
Great.
I just feel like, I don't know, whether it's a rock star or some entourage walking around when you're at some place, I don't know, let's say Vegas or something, and there's just the one person everyone gravitate toward. Well, at dinner, that's Grace. Everyone just, mom's great. I felt like, seriously, felt like I was with a rock star. So that was really cool. Thank you, Grace. We all celebrated her birthday. And that's in June. So that was really good. Yeah. So what happened after that, we can't disclose. But this is something we can disclose, and this is that Jared is coming back. We've had a lot of people say they wanted Jared to come back. So we'll say, hey, you know what? He's coming back. So it's about commanding the room. It's about learning how to communicate at a higher level. Being in the TV industry for 12 years, they pour an intense amount of communication ability and strategies with him and instill it into him, and he's looking to instill it into you. We'll get it like the other. We will get a sheet out. It's going to be a small-ish group, meaning anywhere from 25 to 35 max. Because if you don't like to talk in a group at all, still come, but you're going to be more awkward. Feel you want to step out of your comfort range when it comes to that discount. Because he's going to have everybody speak and practice and actually work, grow in your trade. So I think I need it today too. So that will be coming up. That's the March 19th from 9 to noon. It'll be great. So keep an eye on that and sign up. Speaking of great people to sign up with, bring it on up. Right, Drew.
I am gonna do a Kahoot, but Ken's meeting with a client, so I'm gonna start it. But then-
Ooh, clients first. How about that? Able to share.
No. No. Should-
Having some fun with that. While she's doing this, Jason, what would you say the over-under is with Gary V and a 411 with Olivia when it comes to language? Who do you think says the most four-letter words in that scenario?
She's having a one-on-one with.
Yeah, it does. Depends on how bleepity bleep prepared somebody is.
Yes.
Sarah
must
be very different.
There he is.
Running a client meeting while doing this, multitasking a little bit. I'm in front of the camera.
I don't know what we're gonna do here. Rudy.
Rudy's awesome.
It's not letting us do it.
He is,
Excited.
how's your patient?
Okay, so,
How's your patient, Tricia?
Patient is good. Surgery went well. He's
Okay.
drugged and resting right now. So thank you for asking.
Nice. What happened?
Torn meniscus.
could you do that? Or do we not want to?
Nothing major.
Yep. That's why they call it meniscus. We do that a lot at this age.
Not sure.
Stop others from sharing.
Never mind. Yeah.
Stop other people from sharing. That'd be fine.
That'd be fine. We just want to give away some swag, y'all. There we go.
Oh.
Try not to fall down, kids.
Let's scan those QRs. Let's get this rolling.
It's gonna be a quick one today.
Is that all right? Feels a little dark.
It's fine.
Feels good.
We like it.
It feels good. Got one vote for it. Feels good. Right. Since you guys, while you guys are logging in, just to give you a little bit more encouragement, mortgages are also down profitability wise right now, so don't feel bad. The fact that you guys are positive is actually huge. Month of January, Mortgage Association numbers came out that very much reflecting those numbers, Steve, that activity was down. Activity was down going into the first week of January, which is very not typical. We usually see a big bump post holidays, and we kind of see a lot of people prepping during the holiday season, and you see that bump in mortgage activity, and we actually saw a decrease in it, so it's coming back up again.
What did Shane do that's so funny?
Me. I'm sloth Peterson.
What'd you do, Shane?
When I was a sloth lover.
Oh.
Which sounds
So
so
there's
weird.
more.
All right,
All right.
5 seconds, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Jane, what's your sloth lover? I'll read these off to you. True or false question, you can own more than one home under the VA loan. True or false? You can have more than one VA loan, home loan at the same time. False.
Actually.
It is true.
Yes.
Do you know the answer to this?
Well,
Ish? Feel free to try.
well, they can have one, let it be assumed, and then take out another one, but depending on what their eligibility is, but hit the wrong button.
No, that's all good. Corey?
Based on your entitlement?
It's based off entitlement. That's a really, really important thing. So entitlement, every veteran gets a certain amount of what we call entitlement with VA loan, okay? Some is called basic entitlement, and then there's another side of it called bonus entitlement. We see this all the time, that people are being given incorrect information, because the reality, it's kind of tricky, because can a VA loan be used for an investment property or a second home?
No, owner
No.
occupied.
So it's kind of weird, right, that you'd have a VA loan and then you could get a second VA loan for, right? But in this market, with contingent offers being so hard to get through, this is where this leverage comes in. It helps us. You can also turn that existing home that you have a VA loan on into an investment property. That's okay. But you can't buy a new property that's an investment property. The VA loan wants those to be for primary residence. But if you've owned that home for 7 years and you want to buy another home without being contingent on the sale, if you have bonus entitlement, you can use that to buy another, or to do another VA loan. So
Ken, is 7 years like the magic number, or did you just throw that out there as an example?
I threw it out there as an example. I have someone buying another home and they've been in their home for 3 years, so that counts. If it's under 2, it gets a little dodgy, but they'll do it. They will still do it with a letter of explanation, and we got to document that though, for sure. Thanks for calling that out. 7 is an important number. What is the VA funding fee primarily used for? What is the primary use of that? Red is agent commissions. Blue funds the VA loan program so it can operate without taxpayer support. 3, the yellow, buying down the borrower's interest rate, and green is covering appraisal costs. What is the VA funding fee primarily used for? Agent commissions, funding the program, buying down the buyer's interest rate, covering appraisal costs. Make the most sense. I'm glad no one picked that. It is for funding the program so it can operate without taxpayer support. So it's not a tax funded program. There is obviously taxpayer subsidies to operate VA, but it is not used for insuring the loans. All right, Jay. Let's go, dude. Which borrower may be exempt from paying the VA funding fee? Red, first-time home buyers. Blue, borrowers with a credit score above 700. Yellow, veterans with a service-connected disability rating from the VA. Or green, buyers putting 10% down. Who would be exempt?
Disability.
We're getting there. It is a service-connected disability rating from the VA. Yeah, that's what it is.
Good story.
Hard stuff. Full stop. Here we go. Shane really wants some sunglasses.
All right,
No,
last
that's
one.
Last question. What is the max amount a seller can contribute in seller concessions above and beyond loan-related costs on a VA loan? This is a trick question. What is the maximum amount a seller can contribute in seller concessions above and beyond loan-related costs on a VA loan? Agent commissions. When in doubt, it's always agent commissions.
What's my question?
2468. It is 4%. So this is a trick question-ish, I want to be honest, but it is 4% above and beyond loan-related costs. Can a VA buyer request the seller pay closing costs and use that to pay off credit card debt?
Yes.
Crazy, isn't it? But if you need your vet to pay off credit card debt to qualify, it's the only loan program that lets you use seller funds or seller contribution to do that to get them to qualify for that loan. Every other loan is going to make you pay for your own stuff. So it's 4% above loan-related costs. So that means they could pay, let's say the origination fee, the processing, the underwriting, all that stuff adds up to like $7,000. The seller can pay for all of that, and then they can pay for an additional 4% on top of that number. So sometimes it ends up being like written in there at 6%, but you can't write it in the contract that way. We can help walk you through that. If you have a client that needs to qualify and needs to pay off a bunch of debt, there's a very specific line item we have to word it in the PA, And then we can come back and put max seller contributions of 4%. But there's an addendum in the PA. So 4% above and beyond. All right. Dropped.
Oh, it's Kelly.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm confused. I thought you said you were.
He's sloth lover.
Okay, Lynn 789's on their CC. Hey, let's go. You did win. You're on the podium, so that's a winner. So thank you guys. That's a little VA 101. Hope y'all had a great time at family reunion. Thank you guys for letting me do. I love doing cahoots, so let's keep that rolling. Appreciate y'all.
I'm still going.
It's a good screen though.
It is.
There's a lot of mortgage updates in there.
Oh, yeah.
Music started even before the panel. Probably that, right? It seems like a fine plan.
Oh, well, let's bring up the panel. Come on up, ladies.
Got all our sisters with us?
Yep, we are
Almost all,
here.
except Scotty.
Scotty.
You know, well, it's interesting because a lot of us, well, the folks on the ALC got to learn that there was someone else that we could have invited today. And that's this person.
Oh, yeah.
So Pam, tell us the story.
That is not me. Seriously, that is not me.
Are you serious?
Uh-huh. She was playing bingo last night at JMO's Bowl, which is in town where I live, and a friend of mine was there playing bingo, and she was freaking out, took a picture of it, and sent it to me, and I'm like, this has to be AI. And she's like, no, it's not, I swear, I was freaking out.
Crazy.
So apparently the coverall was not won last week. So Thursday night, I'm going to the bowling alley to see if she comes back.
Wrestle.
You're like
I
stalking
was so
yourself.
weird because I almost always wear my hair up. I have a mop. And so I see this, but yeah, the ears are different. That I can tell that. And I don't have earrings like that. And I don't think I'd ever wear a silver puffy vest, but yeah, it's
Well, that's
wild.
how you're looking at it if you did.
Yeah.
That's
how
like
I would look
the
at it.
lady who shows up in the evil world.
Wow.
Yeah, like the evil.
Yeah.
from another
You should
dimension.
definitely get one when you go there.
Oh, yeah, if she's there, I'm getting a picture with her, for sure.
Well, we tried to hunt her down so that when you all walked up, that she would walk up to her and then you guys would like look at each other like, wait, who's the real Pam?
Yeah. So, yeah, so I was just like, wow.
Wonderful. Thank you, ladies, for being up on the panel. Appreciate you so much. Let's give it up for Pam, Kelly, and Sarah. The question is, Pam, who's your favorite speaker?
Oh, my gosh, well, I'd have to go with Jay Shetty, although I love Gary Vee. I've been following Gary Vee for years. I don't care about his language. He's just who he is, and that's what I like about him, is he just says it like it is, and he doesn't care if people like him or not, right? But Jay Shetty, so I actually have some notes from Jay Shetty that I took. He really talked about that your day is shaped by what you focus on, both at the beginning and the end of the day. So that really just hit me. He was talking about how most people get up and immediately we go to our phones and check our phones, right? Our emails, our social media. And within minutes, we've handled control. That has handled the control of our mindsets for the rest of the day, right? Outside influences. So he talked about prime your mind before the world does. Instead of reacting first thing in the morning, choose intentional positivity. And I had to chuckle when he was talking about this because he says a lot of times when people get up, oh, I'm so tired. Oh, I'm so tired. And by the time, you wake up at 7, by the time 8 o'clock rolls around, you've said that 6, 7 times. And I was chuckling because Casey and I roomed together, and that same morning we both were up under our blankets going, oh, I'm so tired. Oh, I'm so tired. And cold because our room had no heat. That was a whole nother story, but.
But then,
It was cold.
but then the thing, and are you gonna say about the Netflix thing?
No.
Oh, but then, so let me just take on what Pam was saying, throughout the day, I'm so tired, I'm so tired, I'm so tired. But then at 10:30, one more episode on Netflix. Yeah, it seems like a good idea.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So what he was saying was that instead of reacting first thing in the morning, choose intentional positivity. So decide who you want to be that day before checking your phone. Choose one word for the day. Calm, service, leadership, whatever it is, gratitude. And ask yourself, how do I want people to feel after interacting with me today? Because we all know whatever energy that we're carrying leaks onto other people, right? So if I'm so tired, that's going to come across to other people and not feel good. So he said, like, morning intention equals emotional control equals stronger leadership. And then in the evening, like Kelly was saying about the Netflix, what he was saying is that most high achievers end the day, and I'm guilty of this, by replaying what went wrong. The difficult client, the deal that fell apart, any mistakes that they've made. And I'm very guilty of this myself. So he challenged us to shift the question from what did I mess up today to what did I do well today? Reflect on who you've helped, where you showed patience, where you acted with integrity, where you stayed calm under pressure, all these positive things that builds confidence, it's rooted in evidence, and retrains your brain to recognize growth instead of failure. And over time, it builds resilience. So if you start your day reactive and end your day self-critical, you burn out. But if you start your day intentional and end your day reflective, then you grow. So one of the most practical things that he shared was about mindset. He encouraged us to decide who we're going to be before the day starts, instead of letting all those emails and texts make those decisions for us. And just remember at the end of the day, what did you do good? That's that positive tone all day. And so the more I thought about it, I was like, that's really kind of common sense. We all think about these things, but we never, well, I don't put it into practice. But something about the way he presented it just really made a difference in how I'm thinking about it. So that was really good. He's an amazing speaker. So if you ever get the opportunity to see him and listen to him, I highly recommend that. And then just one other thing, on all the different sessions, am I shedding? I know I have travel hair. I don't care. Yeah, shedding. Right. Shedding. I was more interested in the social media sessions. The first one I went to, it was kind of a hard sell that they were doing, so I didn't like that piece of it, but I did get some good out of that. They talked about having all of your social media platforms consistent across the board, like the same headshot, all of that. So that night when I went back to the room, I pulled up things I never think of, realtor.com, because I don't buy leads from realtors, but we all have an account out there, right? And I've been here with Keller for 13 months now, and I pull it up, And dang, if it doesn't got my Dinah Realty website listed, my Dinah Realty email website, you know, so I went and changed that, had an old headshot. So I still have 7 more platforms to look at because they gave us 8 to look at, but it's just something I never really thought about.
Just want to say, for those of you who see that and understand what she's saying, I do have an AI tool available for you that will go through and mine the internet for you and look and tell you where all those things are and do that analysis. We've talked about that in a couple of my AI classes, and I'd love to have you come to one, but if you're interested, just send me an email and I'll get that tool to you as well.
Right, yes.
Let's put a pin in the social media, because I bet there's a lot.
Yeah.
Just in that category. Once it's in that there, then let's unpin Kelly. Who's your favorite speaker?
Gosh, after, I think I would have to say Gary Vee. He was amazing. And I mean, if you know who he was, or if you know who he is, that's who he was.
Does anyone not know who he is?
I don't know.
Gary Vee?
I didn't really
Oh.
know.
Jason, who's Gary Vee?
Who isn't Gary Vee? He is the largest, he is the first person to truly take advantage of social media to create businesses. And he is now runs multiple businesses. He's an agent. He's an advertising company. When I say an agent, a sports agent, I should clarify. He's a sports agent, represents many big time clients. He's a Jets fan. If you know anything about him, he actually has a whole thing dedicated to just being a Jets fan.
I
But
think his goal is to own the Jets someday.
yeah,
isn't it?
probably. But basically, I think the best thing he talks about is I was born in the 70s and I'm from New Jersey and I'm a boy. And that's what it sounds like when you're a 70s New Jersey boy.
And he was born in Russia. He came here
Yeah.
when he was 3.
So
He's amazing. I honestly, before we went to family reunion, I would talk to people that I knew. I'd say, oh my gosh, Jay Shetty and Gary Vee are there. And I don't think anybody who I talked to knew who they were. I'm like, how do you not know what these guys are? They're so awesome. But yeah, Gary Vee is exactly what you think he would be if you know who he is and if you kind of follow him. I think Corey, I first learned about him from you 100 years ago.
Maybe more than 15. That was the anniversary, 15.
I think Gary's like, I think he's like 50 years old and he's been doing social media advertising and stuff, like Jason said, for like 20 years, which is way longer than anybody else has been doing it. But, you know, and maybe you heard like at the beginning of the meeting, you know, some talk of, you know, people being upset by his language and stuff, and every other word that comes out of his mouth starts with F. And that's who he is. And that's, yeah, right. And honestly, I mean, I don't know how much you want me to elaborate, Jamie. I mean, if you just wanted me to answer who my favorite was, but
Oh, please do.
you know, he's the way he talks, he's just like, everybody quit your whining, quit your bitching about, yeah, it's so hard to sell houses right now. The market is slow, the market is down. Is it? Yeah, it has been. And
Go do the work.
yeah, you know, and basically, you know, excuse me, quit your bitching and go sell a fucking house. That was exactly what he said. And so it's just, you know, I mean, I don't know, maybe some people don't, you know, respond well to that. To me, it's more like, yeah, right, you know, so that's some of my, probably my favorite thing, just the whole overall, yeah.
I'll interject quickly with that, because he talked about, I know there's been a lot of, like, he swore a lot and whatever, that doesn't bother me. I thought he was amazing. But he also, once he sat down with Gary, he was saying how if he had come up there, it'd be like if someone grew up not swearing in a family that didn't swear and then got on stage and swore, that would come across as really inauthentic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he grew up, that was how he grew up. That was the world he grew up in. And for him to come out and be anybody else, he wouldn't have been real.
Well, Gary Keller said that they tried to get him or no, maybe Gary Vee said this. Anyway, they tried to get him last year for family reunion, but the condition was you can't swear. And he said no.
He said no.
And so then Gary Keller said, well, you know, why would you go with anybody but the best? So then they had him back and didn't put any rules on
And
it
if
or
your
whatever.
takeaway from him is that he swears a lot, you missed
Yeah.
a lot of his
Yeah.
amazing information.
Some of the things that I have on my phone here is, there's no crying in real estate. You know, kind of like there's no crying in baseball, there's no crying in real estate. Every second you're crying about the market is a second you're not creating content to go get your next lead. Stop posting selfishly. So like, here's my new listing, here's my open house, here's my, which is the easy way to go. And I totally do it too, and probably will continue a little bit until I figure out, you know, what I do want to do, but just to show more dimensions, you know, and giving information, you know, providing value to people and that sort of thing, not just posting selfishly, like you said. Live in service of your schedule. You'll let yourself down if you don't. So again, follow your schedule. You just absolutely have to. Stop being romantic about yesterday. You're not in middle school anymore. You know, just, you know, oh, remember how it used to be, and remember, yeah, well, we can remember, but, you know, stop living there. Stop being romantic about it. So those were a few things that I took down for what he said, and then I have some stuff for Jay Shetty too, but we can, I don't remember.
Well, I love when you put it in context with the social media part, with that, you know, get over your middle school self. What you look like is what you look like, what you sound like is what you sound like.
Yeah, I think it was Jason
Someone might
Abrams
say you're
that said,
ugly.
yeah, Jason Abrams, I think it was Jason Abrams that said, you know, you don't like what you look like? Well, I got news for you. That's your face. You don't like your voice? But you sound like.
I love Jay Shetty. I thought he was like a warm hug. I mean, just that was a great kind of end to the event. And I did really love Gary Vee. I had maybe, once I saw him and heard him, I realized I have come across him, but I didn't really know who he was when he got up there, and I had a lot of great takeaways from him too. But I'm gonna say the morning of the social media con was a woman whose name I can't remember, and then Donald Miller, Giselle, who lived in Minnesota or lives here.
Yeah.
She talked about is she still here? Yeah. Oh, okay. But Donald Miller got that book if you were at family reunion. And he just really talked about your brand being a story, and that's how you can connect with people. And it was social media, but he really didn't talk a lot about like posting on social media. He was more about telling your story. And there's two stories that he told that just kind of, I thought was really funny. The first was one of his first books. He was flying somewhere to speak on it. It was one of his first big speaking engagements. And he's at the airport and he saw someone reading his book. And he walked over and was like, hey, you know, what do you think of that book? And the guy was like, yeah, it's good. And they start talking, and he does not say, I wrote the book. And they get far enough along in the conversation where now it's too late for him to say, I wrote the book. But he was just commenting on some of the things this guy was saying about how, yeah, I'm this author, he's kind of a lovable loser. And Donald Miller was like, what? And his takeaway from that was like, if you don't know how to tell people who you are, you know, they're going to run with whatever version of that they see. And then the other one, other story that he told was about buying a watch. Is Italy or something? He was somewhere abroad, special trip with his wife, and he goes into this shop and there's this beautiful watch that of course is very expensive. And he's trying it on and looking at it, but just, you know, I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it. It's too expensive. And he's walking away. And
it's at the airport.
Was it at the airport? And the guy kind of stops him and says, hey, you know, come back here. And he gets the watch back out and says, you know, do you want this watch? And he said, well, yeah. He said, do you really like this watch? Yeah. Do you have the money for this watch? Yeah. And then the clincher was, can you see yourself handing this watch down to your son? And he bought the watch. And it's still like very special to him. And he said sometimes, and this is where it would translate to what we do, sometimes you just need to give your clients or your potential customer permission. Like, it's okay to want that house. It's okay to want something bigger. It's okay to want this next thing. And they just need to hear somebody say that that's okay.
And you're making the right decision.
And you're making the right decision. Or he said, so the other thing that he said that struck me was saying, if you're struggling with X, then buying Y is the right decision. And then he said, but more importantly is when you say, if you're struggling with X, then buying Y is not the right decision, because you're building trust that you truly are looking out for the person sitting in front of you. So all the speakers were phenomenal. And of course, anyone that knows me knows I'm at Governor Union for the vision speech with Gary Keller. Like I could take just 3 full days of that. But they were all really great.
Awesome. Well, we also, real quick, want to recognize Jason Herkamp was up at a couple different panels and did a phenomenal job. He's not here, but let's give him some. So up on stage for the motivational morning, inspirational morning, was our own Olivia. Woo! Before we move on, I just want to note that none of them credited her as being their favorite speaker.
I had 3 questions. Let it go.
Touche.
You did a great job. We're grateful for that. So what it was, so social media con was the first day, that was Saturday, and Sunday, thank you, started with Giselle. Her message was about maintaining a human connection. So the human connection is vital throughout all of this. If that is not there, that's the foundation. That's why they had their start. Then it went to Don Miller, who just wanted to talk about having a clear message and having a story to tell, and not just so that you could tell it, but they can tell it back to you. That's the second thing. And then Gary V was up there just about how to get attention, how to get all that attention, and bring it towards where you want it to go. And also Chelsea then talked about trust, because if through this process, if you do things that breeds trust, then you lose it all. You don't want to build all this and lose it all. So yeah, let's go back to the social media part then. Any big takeaways that you all had? We heard some from you, Pam. Anyone else got some others that you want to share that you're going to do differently?
I will share lots of great takeaways. I can't remember. She talked about starting videos with you instead of starting videos with I or my or the market or whatever, but start the video with you, and that she says that gets you more views and people will listen longer because you're talking to them instead of talking at them. And I do a fair amount of videos, but I was like, oh, I'm gonna use that and figure out how the messaging is you instead of just throwing information
And I
at
think
people.
the other thing that goes along with that she said too is think of who you want to hear this. And even when you start the video, say, hey, Alex, blah, 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 and then go into your thing. And then when you go back to post it, just edit that first part out where you say, hey, Alex, or hey, Krista, or whoever you want to, but in your mind, you're kind of then speaking to that person, and it just comes off better.
She also talked about when you're getting feedback or comments or people, like, it's okay to say, you are not my audience. Like, if someone doesn't resonate with you, that's fine. They're not your audience.
Which is what we say to everybody who complains about Gary V swearing.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And what she said was, respectfully, you are not my audience. And you could say that to your family member who says, boy, you sure post on Facebook a lot, or, who has something to say, something to criticize. Just respectfully, you're not my audience. So, and that's okay. One thing, it's something I wanted to share about what Jay Shetty talked about. And I don't think he was talking, I know he wasn't talking social media at that point, but it also applies to that. I think he was telling a story about, and I just have like a summary here that Otter AI did for me, but he's telling a story about, from the Buddha, about a person who uses a raft to cross a fast flowing river, and they got across this river, and the guy, whoever was in it, oh my gosh, this raft saved us, totally saved our lives and got us here. And then hung on to that raft or raft.
Yeah.
He said raft so many times, but he pronounced it raft. That just made me laugh. But anyway, that you hang on to that raft for so long and hang on to the way that you used to do social media, I guess is how I'm kind of connecting it. But then in the story, the guy's got the raft on his back, and then he's going through this forest where there's so many trees and everything that the raft is actually holding him back and getting in the way. And it's okay to, you know, the Buddha's lesson is the skills and mindsets that got us to one point may not be the ones needed to get us to the next. So it's okay to let go of that. Yep, put the raft down and move on. So which, like I said, in my mind connects to, well, this is how I've always done videos. This is how I've always posted on Facebook, and it's okay to, you know, it's more than okay. It's you have to change with the times. You can't just do it as you used to do.
Just want to add a little bit of that story. You also pointed out that at the point that you now understand the raft, you can build another one
Yes.
when you need it again. And we do that so often. We hang on to things that were so important to us that helped us solve problems, and then try and apply that to every situation. And sometimes a screwdriver or a screw just really needs a screwdriver, not the hammer that's worked on all the nails you found before. And if you find that kind of discussion interesting, that's what we do at Connectors, by the way.
This is a question online, probably.
Trisha made a good comment, actually. She was in one of the breakouts online, and she said, from Leslie Peters, said that when you're having conversations with clients, write wait at the top of your paper and think about, like, why am I talking? Reiterating what we've talked about, that questions and active listening are the utmost importance. And the focus of the breakout was the part of showing empathy, and the circle of trust is empathy, competency, transparency, and dependability.
That's wonderful. And what's also wonderful is Leslie Peters will be here in October. Those who have never class,
Yay!
won't that be wonderful? That would be awesome. Thank you, Olivia, for having that great relationship with her.
That's genius. Wait, that's genius.
Super easy, but super important.
What's that?
I said super easy, but super important. Wait. Her breakout was awesome.
Since we opened it up, is there any other people that attended that have some big nuggets that they want to share? You're just itching, all like, oh my gosh, I would love to share. Colin.
I'll just maybe throw something out at 30,000 feet. So I would imagine a lot of people in the room are here because of culture. And we know that Mo is well on in age and is moving out of her role as the cultural ambassador. And I'm fortunate through Olivia to have gotten to know Dana Gentry just a little bit. She is first class, she is top notch, and she has the biggest heart you've ever seen. She is incredible. So I was texting with her a little bit after she spoke, after she did the inspirational morning. And she said, I am taking this role so seriously because it is so important to protect our culture. So have faith that I think she is going to carry out that role and carry it out very well.
Which is great timing, because let's do a quick little lightning round. You're gonna do that? What would, with one word, how would you describe Denver?
Overwhelming.
Energizing.
Inspiring.
Yeah.
And the other one is, did it add to your pride of being a KW family member, or not?
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, they got a new sweater up.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it always does. It's always, I mean, if you're, I don't know, in a lull or questioning, you know, am I in the right spot or anything like that? I mean, yeah, it's amazing. And everybody who you run into, I mean, outside of Jamie, there's nobody who's crabby there.
I don't know, what do you have, what is it, a hotel friend? What do you call it? Roommate?
House friend.
House friend, and he's got a hotel, what about your hotel friend? He's not crappy? My goodness.
Just grab you by the, yeah.
Leadership worked very, very hard to
Yes.
make things smooth for the rest of us.
Yes.
So- No, there you
I didn't tell Jamie I was gonna do this, but I would like Grace to come up and Jason and Jamie and Cicely to come up here, please. And Melissa's traveling back this morning.
You're fired again?
You are getting fired again. You guys crush it. And I have a lot of different hats at these events. And one thing that is just so important to me is that I don't have to worry about a thing when we have 25 KVPR people attending and our lender partners. Thank you. Thank you for making it look easy. Thank you for the sleepless nights. Thank you for getting in line at freaking 5:30 in the morning. I would walk down there for something prior to the event starting and I would see those two standing in line at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, like first in line.
Like first in line. I mean, and like at the security checkpoint, like nobody's gonna freaking tackle them. Like, I mean, they're just like, I went walking through one morning and I was like, just took a picture. They're the first ones there. And countless people in the group text were saying how thankful they were for how hard you worked. And Toddy passed the baton beautifully to Grace because it was Grace's first year. And thank you for your leadership and helping her get set up because you did a great job with all the communication. So it was very sweet of you to take care of our people this week. So I'll put these in the MCA office and you can snack on them throughout the day. But give them a round of applause. Okay, I'll come back.
Well, it's easy for us to, I'll speak for them, I would say that it's easy for us to do those things when it's these people, Poor Casey had to watch me sprint. I haven't sprinted in like 10 years.
It's really beautiful.
Was it beautiful? Yeah.
Those long legs. Jamie, we took a guest. So our guest agent was Susan Mull, who's visiting us today from Remax. And I just wanted to hear from her as to what it was like for her in her experience and what she thought of the family reunion. So.
My goodness. I didn't expect to be put on the spot, but I thought it was mirror everything that you guys said. I had a lot of fun. Thank you guys for inviting me. I appreciated it. The love I felt among you guys was amazing. The guests, everyone, the speakers, everything was so inspirational. I have so much things to write down. I was just in awe. It was really good. The speakers were great. The atmosphere was great. I did enjoy every single moment of it. A lot of walking. I think I had so much stuff. But harbor shoes, I was not prepared, but I enjoyed the whole event. Everything was great. So thank you guys for inviting me. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
We wore high heels the whole time.
Yeah, we brought tennis shoes.
Yeah.
Hey, I brought tennis shoes. I listened.
So I will send out, we've got transcript from every speaker. Happy to send out like a full detailed summary to y'all. Also here is something you can, well, this is just all the different top themes, but this is a master prompt if you want to use it. What this will do is if you click on this, it will lead you to a link. It will lead you to a link that is a Google Doc. And what you do is you copy and paste the Google Doc onto your either ChatGPT or Gemini, and then you can have a conversation like you're having a conversation with Jay Shetty. So I did that on the way in the car this morning, had some great revelations, and I'm excited that we have that opportunity for you to post it on our social medias as well. I just want to know, Jason, there's not a lot he's sharing today, but he got a ton of information. this family reunion isn't just gonna sit and move on, it's gonna be a part of our culture, continuing moving forward with teachings. And we'll go from there. Anything else?
In Houston next year, would love to have you there.
Yeah, if you're thinking, if you've never gone and you're thinking of going, and you really want to, I would just, set aside a little bit of money here and there. It does add up, I mean, to be completely honest, but you just have to look at it as an investment, not a cost. And it's a lot of fun. And if you like the people that you work with, it's just a lot of fun. And if you don't,
not like
then.
If you don't, there's enough people there.
Yeah.
Others.
Yeah.
Family, you're not supposed to like most of them. But speaking of people we like as well, lunch is sponsored by Rife Group, Stone Arch, and Jess, raise your hand, thank you. Oh, they're gonna say, thank you all. I didn't wait for it. Damn, we'll show the house.
Oh, it's so funny. So, the place